Hi, everybody, and welcome to Module 4. So for this, before I begin talking about Module 4, I will just say that your feedback today is not going to be great because I've got a lot of shoveling to do. It is really snowy out there, but also it's kind of the same thing as last week, and you did a great job last week. There was some really nice talk in the discussion. We got a couple of more book finder websites, which was great. There was some talk of student privacy, which is something that I hadn't brought up, so well done on that. Um, it was a really nice collaborative feel. The blogs that I've looked at so far look great. Um, so well done. And and now we'll move on to Module 4, which is about adaptive and assistive technology. These are technologies that we use with students who have special needs or just need a little bit of a boost. It's a way of leveling the playing field so that all kids have the opportunity for success. So let's take a look at what you need to do, which is continue with your blog, continue with the discussion, but there's a very exciting assignment, the adaptive and assistive investigation. So what this is you're going to find out who in your district, if you're working in a district, if you're not working in a district, just whatever district you live in or where your kids go to school or a district somewhere, what you want to do ideally is talk to the person who does adaptive and assistive and just pick their brain a little bit. People are busy, people might not get back to you, but go through the process, because what this does is it shows what it's like, as the parent of a child with special needs, like what you have to do to figure out how to get your kids services. When I first started doing this, the majority of people who were working in schools found out that they were considered the adaptive and assistive person by virtue of being the tech person in their district or in their school, particularly with elementary school kids. I think people have gotten much better about it. The laws have tightened up a little bit, but still, it's still a question. It's not easy to find out. So you're going to do that investigation, see how easy or difficult it is to get this information, and if you can touch base with the person, that's great. Um, so if you are in a school district, it shouldn't be difficult. If you are not currently working in schools, you may have a little more trouble. We're going to even the playing field on that a little further down. So let me show you what else you've got to look at. Oh, I have a contact info sheet. This is going to help me out at the end of the quarter semester. What are we calling this? At the end of the class, you're going to have to partner with somebody for when we're looking at online public access catalogs, and I'm going to set you up with someone for that because I need to put people who aren't in schools with someone who has access to an OPAC that they can show the other person. But you're also allowed to work other than the week that we look at students and gaming and social media. I'm going to have you do a paper, from your own perspective for that. So that's individual work. But the rest of the time, if you want to work with someone else, that's fine. So what this is going to do is give you're going to put your contact information in here. And that way, you guys can decide who wants to work with who on your own if you so desire. You're not required to work as partners for anyone other than the I think it's week 13. But if you want to, many hands make light work, as my grandma used to say. All right, so these are the resources that are available for you this week. The Boston Public Schools continuum of low to high tech tools. This is it's older, but what's really interesting is the low tech tools, things that you don't even consider being adaptive and assistive tools, and they can work that way. And it goes to more specific ones. And it's funny because as you get to the more specific ones, the high tech ones, these are things that have probably been replaced with something else newer, but the classics remain. So that's something that you can look over if you like. Then UDL is a really important thing that I'm sure if you're in any kind of education you've heard about. It sort of had a start looking at adaptive and assistive technology, but basically it's the idea that by making everything accessible to everyone, we don't have to single kids out with specific things. It makes it, what is it? High tide lifts all boats. And then we've got a couple of very old articles, but they're school library specific and they're pretty good. So I think it's Janet Hopkins, somebody Hopkins. Yes, Janet has written the role of assistive technology in school libraries specifically. And then she also has 10 assistive technology things to know, which are right there. Then Project Enabled. This is a lot. If you go in here, it's gonna be a while, but Syracuse University put this together, and it's for every kind of library. There's nothing really school specific, but there's a lot of public library information that can also be of help to you. This is, I think, is a 20-hour course that you can do. Um, but there's a lot of information here. Then quality indicators for assisted services. This is when you get to the main page, if you click on indicators and matrices, there's a really nice, just sort of, all of these snapshots of things that might be of help to you. Then, oh, this is from Project Enable. And for those of you who are in a school library where you're working in the library, you might want to go through your library and take a look at this. It looks at different aspects of the library and, are they accessible for everyone? It's an eye opener for some people. And then the last thing here is everybody's welcome, ways to make your library more welcoming to students with special needs. And it's just, everyone's invited. And it's just a nice look at, how we make our libraries more welcoming. All right, that's really all I've got on the agenda. Let me just look around in the content page and see if I've forgotten anything. Looking for collaborators. Yeah, the top 10 ideas for addressing accessibility. That one, take a look at that, and you can talk about that in your blog if you like. Okay. I believe that this is just a little bit more specificity on some of the assignments. So there you go. It's an important topic, and I teach a class in this that is a much larger class for professional development. And we look more at, we look at the law and that kind of thing. But for our purposes here, hopefully this will give you a good overview. Thank you so much for all the work that you're doing so far, and I look forward to seeing you on the discussion boards. Have a wonderful, I hope you make it through the snowstorm okay. It's not too bad. It's on and off. We should all survive. All right. Have a good week. Bye-bye.